Here's what the player had to say when submitting their review. I chose this game specifically because I felt I played pretty well, got SVP, but we still lost. I think my positioning is by far my biggest downfall. I always try to stick to cover, but I never really know when to go in and help my teammates, even if it means going out of position or if I'm better off just letting them KO. Would love some guidance on that, and if there's anything else I'm missing, I'd love for that to be pointed out too. Edit. Just a quick extra note, I primarily play Invisible Woman. I tried to switch to Luna/Rocket for team ups, or if we have divers on our team for long distance heals. Other than that, I never know if I should switch off or not. Before we get into it, of course, if you'd like your replay reviewed, check that pinned highlighted comment down below, follow the instructions, you'll be good to go. Moving into this gameplay, we are looking at a Grandmaster Invisible Woman gameplay. I don't know if they're going to continue to play Invisible Woman, but we're just going to say it's Invisible Woman gameplay. Now, positioning is something that a lot of people struggle with, so it'll be great to kind of just point that out and discuss more about it. In terms of when to swap, honestly, Invisible Woman is a pretty solid character in general. There's not really much of a reason to swap off of her because she's very good at almost everything. However, swapping to Luna and Rocket for team ups or just for divers and stuff like that is a good option as well. Let's keep moving. I wouldn't focus too much on that though. I'd focus more on how can I benefit the team a little bit more? You know what I mean? I love the sounds of this skin. It's random, I know, but I love the sounds of this skin. Okay, so you're just kind of doing your best to help out. We could be using cover a little bit better. Do it from here. You're still doing the same exact thing, but you're not going to be targeted by any of those players. You're only being focused by this guy should he look at you, and he can't even hit you. You're safer here, right? Should they move more this way, like around, then you just kind of step out this way and continue to do your job. What you're doing right now is allowing yourself to get popped, and there's a Hawkeye on the enemy team. And I wasn't even really thinking about the Hawkeye. I was just saying in general, that's what will happen. They're not even focused on you. I wonder what their screen is looking at when they do this. So for some reason, this guy's focusing Venom. Because I would have been grabbed you. Like you would have been hooked. I would have walked to here. You wouldn't have moved because that's how your play style is based off what I've just seen so far. Now, obviously, I haven't seen anything past this. I'm just in the mindset of the Winter Soldier. Oh, you know, you're standing like that. That's kind of your play style. It's everybody's play style. Clearly, they don't use cover that well. Let me be here. And I'm going to get that pull ready. Bam, grab you. And then what? Right? Or if I was Hawkeye, I'd be looking for you. But these guys aren't necessarily like looking to hit you. Oh, he was looking to hit you guys. Okay. Yeah, that's what's going to happen if you stay out of position. Again, you can do the same thing from here. A lot of what you're trying to accomplish, you can do from walls. And there's not really anything where you have to go out your way to help them. Speaking of going out my way, I'm going to go out my way to say this because I totally forgot. This player, Matt, is actually a member of the channel. So I appreciate you being a member. I totally let that slip. I appreciate you being a member of the channel and supporting the channel. If you guys would like to be a member of the channel, click that join button down below or scroll down to the description box. It's going to have a link there as well. Members get extra goodies as well as priority when it comes to replay reviews. So if you're like, hey, Pop, I want to replay, but I don't want to wait in line, it'll be a good way to kind of just jump ahead of everybody. Again, thank you for supporting the channel, Matt, and of course, all the other members that are watching this video right now. I appreciate all of you guys. It really helps a lot to do free stuff for the community. All right, let's roll. So as I was saying, you can do a lot of things from the walls. Now, I know you're trying to pump out that damage at the same exact time, but you just gotta be a little bit careful. You know, is it better to help the team, or is it better to do damage, or is it better to do both? You have three options. Try to figure out which one is better at that time and position it accordingly. Here, you're gonna get popped. You cannot sit right there. If that guy was a better shot, you wouldn't be, you'd be KO'd for sure. That's not to say you're bad, but it's just like you're in a spot that's an easy shot for him. That doesn't mean you're bad. That just means he has the advantage. And so you're intentionally standing in a spot where the enemy has an advantage over you, and you don't want that. We're still just kind of out and about. The bright side is we took care of the Hawkeye, so it's okay for us to be kind of out and about. We know that they're over there, but just be a little bit more mindful. I know you're Invisible Woman, so you can jump away and go invisible, so that might be why you're a little bit more aggressive, but that doesn't mean you should ignore the fundamentals. I like how you're constantly like panning and checking. That's beautiful. I love to see it. Okay, now you're just hanging with your team, which is fine. You're trying to use the cover over here, clearly. I like how you're using the slope. When you notice that there's stuff on the enemy team that can't really deal with you from a long range distance, you don't really have to use cover as much. But when you start running into characters that can, like Winter Soldier or Hawkeye, you're gonna have to be a little bit more cautious about where you're standing and why. Wait, he actually KO'd your Loki? What was he doing down there? You can kind of see, and it's not this death that I'm going to talk about because, you know, it happens. But you can kind of see your playstyle is what I just said. I'm playing Invisible Woman, so I'll adjust my positioning on the fly because I play Invisible Woman. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Always have a plan B. Always have a way to get away. Always think about what happens if it goes south. So that way you don't just end up giving free ult charge. Yes, you KO and you have to wait for a timer, but you're also giving ultimate charge, which means they can possibly be ready to ult your team when they come out of spawn and double wipe you. That sucks. Always have a way to get out. Always have a way to kind of fix your positioning if you need to reposition. And obviously that sounds a lot easier than it is, but I just want you to be thinking about it. See kind of how you're in the position to get KO'd once again. You can do everything you're doing from right here. And even if you do not want to walk that way, there's a hole right here. You could walk around and do it from here. Now you could say, Pop, and well, can I get shot from up there, or can't they come from behind me? Yes, they can. But is it easier to react to someone? You can see Hawkeye, so obviously you know where he is. Is it easier to react to someone when they get to you? Whether it's them peeking over there and just kind of shooting you maybe once or twice, which you can just do this if you need to, or come over here and do that if you need to. Or is it easier to react to someone who can one-shot you? Probably if you're gonna get one shot, you can't react to it. So again, do your best. You can even, if you really want to get testy and crazy, you could even just kind of walk here. You're safer. Yes, you can still get shot from up there, but nobody can really come behind you, because there's a wall there. Like, use this stuff as your advantage. There's a lot you can use as cover. It's better than just standing out in the open. I know a lot of people feel like when you're moving around you can't be shot, but that's not true. I even like what you're doing here. This is cool too. Just kind of hanging out right here. Yeah, you can still get shot by Hawkeye, unfortunately, but like, you're not gonna get shot by anybody else. A really good way to think about it is not really think about where do you position and just stay there. Just kind of keep thinking about, how do I position away from the threat as the game progresses? You know, what's the current threat right now? The current threat, well, you're about to get pulled, which is what I was going to say. Winter Soldier and Hawkeye. The current threat of them is right here. So we need to position so we're not here in the threat zone. There's a lot of areas around, but if they're here and they see you, this is the threat zone. You're obviously going to be shot there. If we go to their camera, what do they see? The threat zone. The threat zone, right? So be a little bit more cautious about that. I wouldn't have ulted. Venom is one of those characters that you don't really have to worry about KOing in 2 seconds. He is very hard to take down. You could have let him kind of sit in that. I know it seems rude, but you could have kind of let him sit in that ultimate for a while you're healing him. Like right here, he doesn't need you to ult. He doesn't need you to ult. There's no world that there's an ult needed right now. Yet you ulted. And luckily she ulted when you ulted at the same exact time. Otherwise, you would have just wasted it. So be a little bit more mindful about when you ult, so that way you don't waste it. Oh, their Cloak and Dagger also wasted their ultimate. Which if they didn't waste their ult, you guys have been in trouble. You're gaming, I'd probably be a little bit further back. I mean, you can already see the ramifications of you wasting your ultimate. I don't really need to say anything about that. Whenever you're a support character that has an AoE wide kind of like ult or defensive ult, look at their team comp and see which characters you might need to ult for. And if nobody, then just kind of play ults off of their ults or just ult when you need to. In this particular case, I would have been always saving that ult for Winter Soldier because that's a wipe character. So let's go back just a little bit because I want to focus on what I said before, which was standing in a position so that way we're always safe. Here, no. It's not going to be safe for us, right? We want to try to stand over here. So that way, if your team does get wiped, you can just jump, go invisible, and then you're chilling. In a position like this, if you're always fighting here, they know exactly where you are, and should you go invisible, they can follow up. Dealing with something like a Venom, or mostly any dive character, don't chase them. They will come back to you more often than, if they're a good player, they will come back to you. Trying to chase something that's really fast or very mobile, even if it's a DPS, it's going to cause you to get out of position. And so this is something that kind of answers your question about, well, when do I go and have poor positioning to help my team and when don't I? Don't do it ever, honestly. If the person needs your help, more often than not, they will come back to you. Very rarely are they really needing your help and they overextend it on accident. Very rarely, at least from what my experience is, especially at this rank. So usually they'll come back. As you see, that Venom came right back to that spot he just left off in. The goal is to just kind of support the fight in general. I, again, would still be hanging out back here. I would not be where you are. You can't see that guy midair. If he's yellow, unstoppable. Most of the time, that's what it means. You can't CC them, which is crowd control. Push them. Now you're playing stuff over here. Remember what I said. You want to position yourself away from the threat. So what is the threat right now? This guy. What's the threat zone? This is a threat zone. Go this way. Run into their team. You'll be safe. Because you're not winning this fight. We already know you lost. So just try your best to help and do it from here next to her. She might turn around and start hitting you, but I mean, both of you guys have things you need to worry about. Yeah. Again, the fight was kind of over, so there's not really much to say about it, but I was just wanting to show you the example of what it would look like should you position for the threat each second of like every fight, basically. You know, you always want to scan and be like, okay, where should I stand? Where should I stand? Where should I stand? Where should I stand? And you don't want to just chase your team to try to heal them, because that's a trap. Your job as a support is not just to straight up heal everybody. You have a role to play. You have a job to do. You have angles you can take and whatnot. It is not your job to chase everybody across the map to try to heal them and make sure they're okay. They need to do that on their own by coming back to you. So the characters that are generally very quick on your team is just going to be Venom. The other characters you should be able to hang with. So let's try to do it again. Groot walls are going to be a pain in the butt, but let's try to do it again. And we're going to see how often, because that was a weird map in general, to be fair with you. That was a weird map. So this will be a better map to kind of see how your angling is and how your positioning is and whatnot. So let's see. Already out in the open. We already talked about this. You could have easily walked right here and done the same thing from right here. Your number one job when it comes to healer is to make sure everybody's okay first. Now, that again sounds like I just contradicted myself, but listen, your job is not to always heal, but the priority of listing is heal first, if possible. If they are okay, then the next thing on the list is like, how can I do damage or reposition people, or you know, how can I help my team in an aggressive manner? But like, first you need to make sure that we take point. First we need to make sure that our tanks can do what they need to do. Our DPS can do what they need to do. After that, we can do what we need to do. So that's why I said being in an angle like that allows you to still heal. Even if you're not doing any damage, you're healing. And realistically, where you're standing right now, you're not doing any damage anyway. So you're just trying to heal and keep people alive, which you could do from that angle over there, or even from here, but you would still be popped. You want to try to take as many off angles as possible, because when you're grouped up together with your team like this, when they're aiming at one target, it could be him, it could be her, it could be him, you're also in that vicinity, which means even if they miss him, it's going to you. Even if they miss her, it's going to you. Even if they miss him, it's going to you. You're always in the line of fire. If you're at an off angle, that means they have to intentionally look at your character in order to make you take damage. So use that as a way to adjust, use that as a way to assess where you should be standing in line. As you see, let's read that fight. Here we go. Let's read it. So originally, a little bit further back. Originally, our goal was to help keep our team, healthy, right? He comes in, he gets picked. Everybody seems pretty healthy. What is our goal now? They're not really topped off. We can top them off a little bit, right? Okay, now we got our picks. Venom goes in going crazy. Everybody's chilling. What can we do now? Well, we still want to heal because not everybody's fully topped off, but we can be a little bit more aggressive with how we do it. We need to be careful of that Hawkeye because he could be focusing us, but you have more leeway to play the game because you have a pick. You're winning the fight. Now I can go more aggressive. Now I can start getting a little bit more out of position because I don't need to stay in position. We're winning. We need to take advantage of that winning fight, of that free pick that we got. That is when you start going out of position. That's when you start going a little bit crazy. Now that doesn't mean just sit out in the open, but try to, if you're gonna walk forward, try to walk forward and use cover as a way. So like, let's just say we're trying to move forward to those stairs. Instead of just going like this, we could just kind of go kind of like this, like that, and just make our way to the stairs as we take cover at the same time. You can even do it from here. Go over here, try to go to the stairs, taking cover at the same time. It seems like you're wasting time by taking these little extra steps, but it is a lifesaver. Again, same exact concept. You're putting yourself in danger to save these guys, but you don't have to. You could do what you're doing from maybe even right here. That way, if they're shooting the group, you're not in the line of sight of that group. Now, should your team need you, you're still safe. You're here. You don't want to be too close, but like, this is pretty good. They can't do anything about it unless they come from behind you and flank you. Happens. You can't really do it. You're not always safe. That's not the designs of the map. But it's better than being right there, because if you look at their screen, you literally are where the tanks are. If I whiff and miss the tank, you're getting hit. You should not be there. Okay? Here. As the fight progresses and they get yanked in, this is one of those scenarios where you really have to think, am I gonna go in here and try to save this? Realistically speaking, you can't save this. If you walk up, you're KO'd, especially at a higher rank than what you are right now. You have to let them sort that out themselves. Venom can get out, Groot can try, but your character does not have the ability to heal without line of sight. Like, it's not a Rocket, it's not a Loki who can put his clone down and just pop an AoE. Like, you need to see them, or at least put your shield down, but it'll break instantly because they're in the middle of the entire team. So you don't really have much you can do. They got caught. It happens. Do not put yourself in danger, because even if they don't KO, but you walk really close and you KO, well, then they're down a healer. You're trying your best to do what you can. The entire team is not focused on you for whatever reason when they should be. But if you pay attention, they don't need you. Venom's ulting, he's already prepared to be where he is, and he's close enough. If you were to stand here, you can heal him. You did not have to do anything, and you are still okay this fight. But if they would have focused you when you did what you just did, you would have lost the fight for your team. Even right there, if that dude just aimed his ultimate better, the thing, aimed it at you, you would have got KO'd. You wouldn't have been able to ult. You won that fight, even though you shouldn't have, because you should have been picked off. These are the type of things that you want to look out for. And it's hard. Honestly, it's very hard, but if you can sometimes be like, ooh, I should not have lived there. That's wild. And think like that to yourself, something like that. You're learning as you play. But if you went through that fight and you were like, yeah, I did well, I outplayed them. All it took was for them to look at you and take you out. And like I said, as you climb to Celestial and Eternity, they will. If you want one above all, they definitely will. So you have to be a little bit more cautious about what you're doing and why. That's rough. This is just kind of like a lost fight. Let it go. It's okay. When it's lost, it's lost. Either KO instantly or just run away. Don't need to fight it out. You want to make sure that you're grouped together, because especially if you're playing solo and you're not on comms, you being this late is enough for somebody else to KO, and then you have to start this process all over again. We all have to get together and hold. Again, be careful. I would have popped you. There's no way I would have just let you do this. If I were either the Winter Soldier or the Hawkeye. He's not playing Hawkeye, but I'm just saying Hawkeye. You should not be able to just walk out like this. Again, cover. Boom. You can heal from right there and not be in much of an issue. The further you are away from the wall, the harder it is for them to see you. If you peek like this, you're closer, but your body's going to show. If you peek like this, you're further, but your body's not going to show. So use the distance from the wall as also a way to play the game. I wouldn't have ulted that because this fight was not lost from that cloak and dagger. This is just you reacting. If we look at it, nobody's KO'd here. Even without you ulting, you could have just sat back, or if you want, sit over here, the smoke's not on you, and then just heal, 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 heal. That was a waste of an ult. They didn't need it. Luckily, it helped out. Again, it wasn't like it was a waste of an ult, like you just literally threw it away. When I say it's a waste of an ult, yes, it still served its purpose. You didn't just blatantly use it for no reason. But when I say waste of an ult, it's kind of like you could have saved it maybe for a better time. That's all. I realize now that when I say that, it actually seems horrible. Like, you wasted it all. It sucks. You should not have ulted there. That's not what I'm saying. Just when I say you wasted it, it just could have possibly been used at a better time. It was still justifiable to ult there, for sure. But sometimes you don't need to waste it there, and you can use it for a better fight later. Luckily, though, this should be the end of the game, because they shouldn't be able to come back from base before this is over. Oh, never mind, they did. How did that happen? Oh, it was invisible woman. They shouldn't win this fight. Yeah, I was gonna say, there's no way they win that fight. If they won that, I'd have been like, wait a second. Oh, what? Oh man. All right, moving into the third round. Same exact thing, focusing on our positioning, focusing on timings of stuff, how we're using cover and all that good stuff. Your gameplay is pretty solid though. Obviously, there's a difference between your gameplay and like someone that is really efficient with how they play, but like as a player, you're a solid player. There's not really a lot of holes in your gameplay, so to speak, that I can poke through if I were against you, other than your positioning. But how you use your abilities, why you use your abilities, you know, for the most part, you understand what. Again, there's just an efficiency level to it. Like, you could be more efficient with your push-pull, with your grenade thing that you throw, with your shield, with your ult. Yes, you can be more efficient, but your gameplay is already solid with your character. All right, so let's move forward and continue to play this out and see what we're looking for. Speaking of looking for, if you're looking to become a member, click that join button down below, or go to the description down below and the link will take you to that same page. Again, Matt, I appreciate you being a member of the channel and helping to support the channel and the content that I create, especially the free stuff that I do for members, such as these reviews and other stuff in the future coming as well in season 2. So when you guys see my members, please tell them thank you, because everything that you're getting from them that's coming from me for free is actually from them helping to support the channel. So if you want to help support the channel and the content that I create, please consider becoming a member. It really, really does help for sure. All right, moving forward. This is an awkward map too, I'm not gonna lie. Like, look, the thing is, some maps are actually designed to be awful. Like, some maps are designed to make you have poor positioning. So when you feel like you have poor positioning, sometimes it's not always you. Sometimes the map is just bad in that specific spot. Like, there's not a lot of cover here, obviously, where you're gonna stand, right? You could go down and that's where you can stand. But I mean, at the start of the game, there wasn't really anywhere you could stand other than where you were. Okay, right now we lost our team. We lost our Venom, so the fight's pretty much over at this point. We got to pick, luckily, that your shield literally saved you. That was wild. It saved you and your team, actually. So they got to pick, the fight was over, but then we got to pick because your gameplay of that lucky shield. No! No! This is a one fight for you guys. Again, the same thing you could have done, you could have just done from here. You didn't need to do what you're doing. You could even hit them from here, like that. No! No! Imagine if you were here. Like that. So like you were already healing them, and then they rotate around, and you rotate like this. You're still not in any danger, and you're still doing your heals and all that extra good stuff. Ah, that sucks. Good try though. Yeah, your team definitely lost that fight though. That was one of the single fights that I can say was your fault. I was gonna throw that out there. Like, there's some fights that's kind of like hard to gauge if it's yours. That one was your fault. Initially, when Venom got picked, it wasn't, but you guys got a pick and you guys were able to push, and then you KO'd it. That one was your fault. So just continue to position your best. Nice. Again, walls. You're jumping in the middle because you have a way to get invisible whenever you're in danger. Don't do that. Don't rely on that invisibility to keep you safe. Don't rely on that double jump to keep you safe, because it's not going to. Especially against better players.
It's clear I'm still needed here.
Wow, did we just get sweeped? Ah, that's so unfortunate. I feel so bad. Oh, nah. Oh, that sucks. Because you guys came back and it was pretty solid. But when you KO'd there, that literally gave them the ammunition they needed to charge your ultimate, wipe your entire team. That sucks. I feel bad. Okay, anyway, back to the thing. I'm getting too attached. The main thing to focus on is what I just said, your angles, right? What's the threat zone and where can I stand to not be in that threat zone? Really use these walls as cover. The further you are to the wall, the less you have to go. The further you are from the wall, the harder it is for them to see you. The closer you are to the wall, the easier it is. The benefits of being close, though, is... Oh, I just trolled. Okay. The benefits of being close to the wall, though, is you can swivel a lot quicker. So being close to the wall, like right here if I'm fighting, I can swivel back and forth really, really quickly. Let's just say there's no wall right here. If I'm further back, my swivel isn't. And I can actually demonstrate that. So if we are playing this game, right, and I'm close to the wall, he's coming. Oh no, I have to wham, swivel, right? Oh, he's running away, swivel. It's very quick. But if we were doing the same thing and we were fighting from far away, let's just say there's no wall here. Look at the swivel. I can't see, I can see you. Okay, so I gotta go back and cover. Look how far I have to do to get back and cover. And that's essentially, what's down here? Never been down here before. Holy crapazoid. What in the world? This map is honestly that big underneath? Yo, I kind of want to look at, are those the real cars? Wait a second. Dude, okay, this is actually really cool. I don't know why I'm doing this, but this is actually something that people do. So this is way off topic, I'm sorry. But in game development, sometimes to achieve the best lighting, sometimes you'll need to have a picture of like the real world lighting, and then it helps you achieve, I don't know what it's called, but it's a great way to get some good lighting. I don't know if that's what they did or why that's there, but that's the type of stuff that happens. That's funny though. I'm really curious where that is. I wonder if that's their headquarters. Anyway, I apologize. This got way out of just hand. Closer you are, the easier it is for you to swivel. You only got KO'd when you lost that team fight because you were really far back. And as I said, when you swivel, it's longer. If you were here and you had to, it's way quicker. You would have been out of danger way faster. Okay, so really work on how you're using walls. As you said, your positioning is kind of an issue, but I think it's just because you're over reliance on turning it invisible whenever you're in danger. That is something that's really bringing you down. And then just trying to be a little bit more efficient with your abilities. You know, why are you using it and how can I use it to the best of my ability? Do I really need to ult right now? Do I need to push or pull right now? Do I need to throw the grenade right now? A lot of players in this game, because it's such a fast-paced game, tend to just spam abilities, and it's not necessarily a bad thing, but sometimes if you could just hold it for 1 or 2 extra seconds and get a really good usage out of that ability, it'll mean way more than having to just throw everything and let it sit on cooldown for a little bit before you can get it back. It's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Again, don't sit on the ability forever, but really gauge if, like, in the next few seconds or the duration of however long the cooldown is, would you might need it. Be a little bit more efficient with how you use it. At the end of the day, though, like I said, pretty solid gameplay in general. Once again, thank you for being a member and helping to support the channel. Because of you, I can do things like this, and I'm greatly appreciative of you guys as members. If you want to be a member, click that join button down below, or of course, the description has a link down there as well if you do not see that join button. But for the most part, yeah, that's pretty much it. If you have any questions or anybody watching has any questions, let me know that in the comments below. If you like your game reviewed, check that pinned comment. And until next time, you know what I always say. Thank you guys for doing what? Popping often. Real often.